Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome to today's Microsoft Flight Simulator live stream. I'm your host and pilot, Uncle B. Today we are going to be doing two flights. First flight will be in the P-38 Lightning heading from Ainsworth to Des Moines. So I believe I have it as Nebraska to Iowa. And then, so let me go ahead and build up my flight plan while we're waiting, see if anybody's going to join us. Parking 59. There. It looks like it's either going to be 1-3 or 3-1. One of those two. Oh, I got to change the weather before I forget. That might have an impact on it. We're going to change the time as well. Once we have everything loaded up. We're going to K. Coming in on runway 5. Oh, wait a minute. No, I think I changed it, didn't I? I didn't write it down. Yep. That's this one. We're coming in on runway 31. VR. Oh, let me get back to the chat so I can keep an eye on that. Let's see. We have O and L. So we can get rid of that one. Oops. I gotta get open my filters up here. We don't need that. Move. O and L, O of K, OVR. So we need to get rid of this one. Oops. Wow. This thing is kind of acting weird today. Move. We want looking for okay, so there it is. We want that. We want that. All right, there's our ILS localizer at the other end there. Perfect. All right, let's change the time so we can actually see. All right, there we go. So let me get back to the chat here and see if any. Hello, Ryan. How are you? Nice to see you here. I saw the other day you were commenting in the on the premiere. So yeah, and then I had somebody who was like blowing up the comment section, like they were treating it like it was the chat, and I had to like warn them, like, don't spam the comment section. I can see your remarks, but I don't need you to keep, whatever. So anyway, all right. I think we are all set. So let's see what we're leaving from runway 31, which should be fine. I think we've got plenty of runway to skedaddle out of there. I think what we're going to do, though, is we're going to have to go down here over runway 35 up here to our departure runway. So we will. No, it's fine. I always Uh, yeah, so I became an affiliate, and so I can't stream to both locations. I can only do one or the other. I can't do both, or I can only stream on Twitch, and then uh, I have to wait 24 hours before I can upload it to YouTube. So I automatically set it as a premiere all the time. Yeah, I can't stream on both at the same time anymore. Otherwise, that violates the affiliate agreement. So, all right, I'm waiting to see if we are going to have anybody join. I don't think so. I'm going to go ahead and pop in, start the plane up, and we'll get ready to go. So hopefully everybody's doing well. No, no, no. That's okay, Ryan. Don't worry about it. It's all good. No problem at all. Let's get that out the way. Let's get that. Make sure our fuel tanks are set. I gotta look at the. Oops. Oh, you know what I didn't do? Hold on a second, folks. I gotta update the route. One way. 3-1. We're doing. Hold on a second. No, it's runway 5. No, we're taking off from both on runway 3-1, I think. Let me look. Hold on a second. Yep. Okay. Now watch. Just as I get the plane started up, it's going to change. All right. There we go. Now we have that. Where is the... No, that's not it. Shift Alt F. There we go. Perfect. And then I gotta get the battery on. Alright, let's get this all done. Sorry, folks. Hello, Joseph. Doing good part. Oh. Well, I mean, at least you got some good money coming in, I'm sure. I just don't have any time to enjoy it. That's the only drawback. Alright, get the plane started up here, folks, and we'll catch up in the chat here in just a second. Alright, so... 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi. There's one. along. Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi. And there's 2. Alright. I gotta dial in my, oops, do a couple other things here as well. Alright, that all done. Let's get this. Hoping to get an Xbox at some point. I'm saving for one, just need to make room. I'm doing 4 days a week now as I cover staff as I go between depots. Oh, interesting. 11390. Swap that. And then we have next one is 1096. Oops. Alright, so that one's set. Alright. No. I'll go that way. You know what I didn't do? I didn't, I'm doing 400 miles a day. Wow. Should get a bonus for that many miles. Roll up the windows. And I got a tank up as well. I think this is the way. Should be the way. Nope. Alright. Oh, I saw a P-38 flying the other day. Nice. Yeah, it's a great plane. Close this. We don't. Oops. See, now it's going all over the place. All right. And I have not. Let me just scroll back up to make sure I didn't miss anybody saying that they were coming in. Nope. Okay. Make sure I didn't miss anybody. Where's my... So yeah, I think I'm going up right away. No, this is an American plane. The Spitfire is British. It just looks British because it's got the invasion stripes on it that were markings for to denote Allied aircraft. No, this is the P-38 Lightning is an American plane, but it did serve in Europe and the Pacific. It was in both locations, if I remember the stuff. So I'm going to go this way. So 3-1 is over. Hello, Bex. How are you? Nice to see you here. Welcome. Yeah, that's okay. At least we're getting tour of this little Ainsworth airport here. Where's my other menu? Let's have a look here. KAW. Oops. Look at layouts. So there's 3.5. Okay, we just got to go up this way and then hang a right and then go down. Okay, got it. I need to get on Twitch more. I only have it for oh well, thanks. Mix on there. Quite a few people stream to Twitch. Yeah, a lot of people use it for streaming. They just find it a little bit easier. I guess I should have gone the other way. That would have been faster. I thought it was at the other end. Oops-a-daisy. So yes, well, we're going to do a couple things today. We're going to do this flight, and then we are going to do a flight in the F-35A. Won't be. I don't expect any stomach churning. Well, it's easy, you know. Like if I don't look at the airport layout, it's easy to make the wrong turn and then suddenly go like, wait a minute, I was expecting the runway to be at the other end. And yeah, so it's yeah, I've gotten lost a few times. It happens. It's okay. I thought there was like a taxiway that went around the perimeter of the airfield here. And that turns out not to be the case, so that's okay. So yeah, we're doing this flight, and then we'll do the F-35A. We'll do the route once we're done with this, and then so yeah, and once we're in the air, we'll talk about the Maverick. No spoilers, I promise. No spoilers, other than the butler did it. It's always the spoiler. The butler did it. The butler's always the one that did it. And then. But yeah, I'll give some thoughts about it. That's all. Nothing. But no spoilers. I can assure you. All right, let's get down to the other end here and hang a Yui, and we'll be in the air. We're not in the air expeditiously and forthwith. World. Yeah. Altimeter there. It's all set. I'm taking Love Enviro 400 on the 31 route. Just wish it was an Airbus 380. So speaking of which, I was watching Big Jet TV, and they're trying to do, and he said it would be kind of impossible, and he's trying to figure out a way that they can capture both. When the A380 leaves Toulouse in France and heads towards, I think it's heading to the Heathrow. Yeah, they want to have the takeoff and landing, but he said if he films the takeoff, but they said, well, you can be on the plane, but well, how can he be on the plane and film the takeoff? And then how is he going to film the landing if he's on the plane? So he said that would be kind of that wouldn't work for him and the viewers. So he's trying to figure out a way to have somebody there in Toulouse when the A380 takes off and heads for the UK. Yeah, it's gonna be amazing to see those back in the air. A lot of the companies that had, I guess, canceled their orders suddenly were like, well, we need them now. So, kind of strange. All right, we're almost there, folks. Drone. Well, no, I don't think that would work either, because somebody would still have to be there to control the drone. And once the plane takes off, he would lose the signal. Like the drone, there's no way the drone would keep up with the plane. But yeah, he was discussing it earlier this week. He just has to figure all the logistics, and if somebody can do the filming when the aircraft departs Toulouse and makes its way towards the UK. It'd be great, actually, if they... I'm fine, Joseph. If they could do the takeoff and then have somebody on the plane for the flight, kind of talking about, how it feels to be flying in the A380, something like that. Like, I think it would be a really cool sort of thing to watch, but to have the whole experience. All right, here we go. All right, let's make sure I think we have everything all set. All my stuff is on. All right, let's... Oh, I know what I need to do. One other thing. Let's get this set for autopilot screen. That way it's a little bit easier to... There we go. All right. I think all the windows are closed. Yep. All right, let's go. A really long selfie stick, yeah. Well, hopefully, whatever he ends up doing, hopefully it's going to be an amazing video or stream. I think he's trying to stream everything. I think that's the difficult part. You got your jam sandwich and vodka, so you're all good. All right, we are in the air. A little extra trim. Come on, plane. Start climbing. Start climbing. There we go. Alright. Just gotta watch the time to climb, and then we're gonna turn 091. There we go. All right, there we go. away we go. I've left it there. No, we're en route. So Ainsworth, both of these, Ainsworth and our destination here in Des Moines were both Army Air Corps airfields during World War II. Alright, so we probably need to turn even more. Yeah, we're gonna have to really. That's better. So yeah, all right. So Top Gun Maverick. Okay, I'm gonna give you my. I'm gonna give it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Here's why. Overall, it's an amazing movie. The flying is fantastic. All the flight scenes and everything, top notch. Like they really did a great job, and you could tell the technological difference between the first movie and this one. You know, obviously the cameras have gotten better and all that kind of stuff, right? So yeah, absolutely amazing movie. Oh yeah, I highly recommend it. Now the reason why I give it 4.5 instead of 5, the writing is a bit, I don't want to say bland. It's kind of like it's predictable, right? Which is fine, right? You don't want it to be anything other. You know, it's predictable in a way, which makes it safe, I guess. Also, but yeah, it's not. I was a bit surprised how the writing just seemed to be pretty like, eh. I wish that they had. I think, quite honestly, there was enough for 2 movies. They could have done a. Yeah, the story. I mean, the story is interesting, but it was just kind of like it's a bit cliched, I guess. I don't know. But it's. I mean, it's fun. It's a fun movie. You know, there's some witty one-liners here and there, but overall, it's not bad. I mean, it's. You know, it'll. If you've seen the first one, it'll get you in the feels. Let's put it that way. You'll feel that nostalgia if you've seen the first movie and you understand a lot of some of the story of Maverick, right? So in that respect, they did I think a really good job with that. We'll just start using them from the drop tank. Yeah, so I think if they had done like Maverick Part 1 and 2, I think there would have been more maybe a little bit more character development, especially some of the other characters who you didn't really know, you didn't get a sense of, you didn't feel like you were going to be rooting for them, you know. Oops, I overshot my, I'm talking, I completely goofed up here. Yeah, I would watch it again before you. I mean, you don't have to, but it does help to have some kind of a reference with the characters. Well, not all of them, but you know. But yeah, I think it's a fun movie. If you, like I said, if you've seen the first one, you'll definitely. There's enough there that you'll be like, yeah, this feels pretty awesome, you know. So yeah, but I would recommend it. I wish I'd seen it in the theater. I didn't. I downloaded it on my Xbox the other night. So it's definitely one I'm going to watch again because I feel like there were some things that I didn't really get, you know, or I think I missed a few things. But yeah, overall, I would recommend it. But it just felt a bit hokey. That's all. But I mean, otherwise it's a fun movie. You know, I think they did a great job. But I think they could have done 2 parts. But maybe it's just that they could only do that one movie because they have to get the Navy helped them out with this one as well. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that would have been much better, but yeah, it was fun. It was a fun movie. I liked it. Yeah, for the flying scenes alone, I wish I'd seen it in the theater, but that's okay. Did I not turn that on? I didn't. Bet you I did not, didn't I? It is on. Okay, let's view. Oh, it's a vortex, so we should be getting some kind of signal. Okay, 37 nautical miles to our first nav point. 110. Wait, 113. Oh, wait a minute. I see what happened. Okay. That's why we're not getting the signal. Three. Okay. All right, now we should be getting the signal. And then the other one is 10960. All right, yep, now I hear it. All right, there we go. Yeah, I would recommend it if you can go see it in the cinema. It's a much more amazing movie, I think, in the cinema. All right, let's make sure we didn't have any no surprises there. These popped in suddenly. So yeah, we'll do this flight, and then we'll be hopping over into the F-35A, have a little fun flight in that. And we'll wrap things up. We'll be back on Monday. No stream over the weekend. Back in Monday, or on Monday, in the Junkers 52, starting our flight around America in the Junkers 52. First flight will be JFK to Washington, Ronald Reagan / Washington International. We're going to have a nice approach into our destination. We're going to follow the Potomac for a bit. We're going to pass over a couple bridges and then just hang a gentle right. And we'll be on the ground. Can't see the name. What name? Oh, it says, oh. You talk about on the front of the aircraft? That one? That name? Yeah, so this one of the liveries, there's only a couple that has like some nose art or something. So yeah, I like this one. Out of all of them, this is my favorite one to fly. I was trying to do them in a couple different liveries, but this one I think looks the best. All right. let's have a look here. We're oh. Yeah, they had some kind of nose art that depicted either a girlfriend or some woman that it may not have necessarily been the pilot. It might have been the crew chief for the aircraft that put it on there. But usually I think sometimes it was like the pilot's wife's name. I know Chuck Yeager, his plane had Glamorous Glennis because his wife's name was Glennis. So yeah, there was different Sally B. Okay. Let's see what other stuff is happening. So yeah, Junkers 52 on Monday. No stream Tuesday. Wednesday we'll continue from Reagan National to our next destination. Thursday we will start our first leg of the flight along the Route 66. That'll be our next our other journey that we're going to do. I don't think that one's going to take very long to do, but yeah, it should be fun. And then let's see what other and then Friday, no, we won't be doing the Concorde flight this Friday. I'm still trying to figure out some things with the Concorde. It's a bit more complex, but I've been reading the manual that DC Designs put out. I'm just kind of looking over everything to see if there's something that I'm missing when I'm flying it, that I think, there may be some hints that might give me a better idea of what I'm doing wrong. Too early in the morning for that crap. So yeah. So we're gonna do let's say Friday was gonna be oh no, it's fine. No, the plane's pretty stable. We're good. No, I mean, I've crashed. It happens. It's okay. What did I say we're doing Friday? Let me look at it, because I think I put something up. Oh, that was for today. So next Friday, I got to come up with something. Yeah, it was going to be today. Was going to be the. Oh, that's right. Okay, so I might. See, my days are all mixed up now. So I might be able to do it on the 2nd of September. If not, it's going to have to be the 9th. Yeah, I know, huh, Bex? Never. See, Bex will tell you that she was the cause of some of those wrecks. Which I don't think is necessarily true. It was just being a bit over anxious with the Alright, let's get the mixture lean back just a smidge. Well, see, the bad part, Ryan, is that usually when I'm flying, I get like, I have to multitask, because sometimes it's like, even though most people know my schedule, I'll still get texts and everything, and it's just like, now's not the best time, or like my buddy in Las Vegas has called me while I've been flying, and it's like, yeah, I can't really talk right now. I'm busy streaming and trying to fly, but it's okay. It happens. No, stuff happens, All right, I think, yep, there's our first nav point. All right, we're going to swap over to our next frequency. And we're going to turn on a heading of 107. I told Uncle Mike about the flight today, and he was not going to be able to join today. He's otherwise engaged in some other things, so yeah. Yeah, he won't be able to join today. I thought Para might, but he might be end of September. Well, so so I'll be out of town until around about the end of September. So I won't be streaming again until like let me look at this calendar here. The 3rd of October will be the next stream. I'm going on vacation. Well, there he is. Hello, Para. All right, this one. Okay, yeah, this one is only 63. All right. Let's see. Let's scoot to the right, just a smidge there. Hello, Mella. I'm going to see family in California, Joseph. So yeah. So I won't be, there'll be a couple streams or a little bit of streaming the first couple weeks of September, and then after that you won't see me until the 3rd of October. And because where my folks are at, the internet is basically oh no, so it's I won't be able to pop in, like when I was visiting my dad, I was able to pop into like mixed streams while I was when I was visiting my dad, but I can't I won't be able to necessarily do that while I'm visiting my folks, my mom and stepdad. So if I can, I will, but don't expect me to see me in the streams. So now, Ryan, what I was going to try to say before I lost my train of thought here, because people asking questions, which this is what normally happens. I talk and then people are like, I have to change, So here's the thing. In Microsoft Flight Simulator, right, there is like a flight school, right? So I would highly recommend, if you've never done anything like this, and it's definitely more difficult on the Xbox with the standard controller, I can assure you of that. So my suggestion is do the flight school thing, learn all you can, and you can go through it as many times as you want. It's not like once you're done with it, it goes away. Keep practicing with it, right? And then if you want, like, I don't know which edition of now, if you have Game Pass, right, you can get the standard, I think it's a very basic edition for free if you have Game Pass. And then there's more stuff coming in November that won't cost you anything either. So there's plenty of planes in the standard edition, right? You don't have to you don't really have to spend any more money, you know, unless you've been going for a while and you're like, I really like this and now I want to try this and all that. But the intent on some of the Fridays is going to be if I'll it's going to be general aviation planes only. But it'll also include the P-38 and the Spitfire, right? If there's an aircraft that you want to fly and you're like, well, I'm not too sure about this, can you fly it and fly with me? We can do that. And then we'll just, fly together and we'll, because that way it's a bit of learning at the same time, but it's going to be fun. So if you want to do that, you're more than welcome to. But I'm only streaming Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. That's my schedule. So I can't. I've been streaming 7. Now it may change after I have some more time off. But streaming 7 days a week it started to wear me out, and so I decided that maybe the best thing to do would be to. Oops, that's too much. To kind of scale it back a bit. But also, it doesn't necessarily have to be in a stream. If you just want to fly off stream, you just let me know. If I've got the time, I'll be glad to. We can just link up and we can just do simple flying. It doesn't have to necessarily be in the stream. Although it makes it a little bit easier because you could see, my instrument panel and it'll be the same as yours. So yeah, just keep working on that. Just do the flight school stuff and keep practicing at it. And then what a lot of people told me is once you've done all that, then you stay in the Cessna 152 because that's the one you'll do like the little flight school with. Then you go find your local airport, right? Even if it's a big airport, that's fine, and just start on you pick a runway and you take off and you just take off and come around and land and just they call it circuits. Just keep doing a circuit, and that way it'll help you get used to the flying with the controller because it's much more difficult than many people. It's like your thumb will get tired because you're going to be trying to fly the plane and you're flying with your left thumb on the left thumbstick. So I would say just be wary of that. But just practice, even if it's an hour a week. So yeah, just pick a runway and just take off and come around and just keep, just land. Just go over and over. Keep working at it. And then that way you'll be, you'll get more comfortable with it. Because if Mick was in here, and he may be lurking, I don't know, he'll tell you, when I first started flying in the sim, once I did the flight, even with the flight school, it was very difficult to get a feel for the plane. So they, yeah, it's a bit, my landings were terrible, but they're still not completely the best, but they're not bad either. They've improved. I mean, it's been a year on the sim. It took a lot of work and all that to feel more comfortable flying the plane. And branching out, there's different types of navigating, all kinds of cool stuff. So it can be overwhelming, Now also see, when he flies, it's late where you are. I'm trying to think who. Who would be somebody else you could fly with? Yeah. Yeah, Para had braking problems. One of the other times he flew with me, he almost went. He did go off the runway, or he nosed over, I think, yeah, there was like a couple of issues he had with the braking because he didn't have the proper. Yeah, it just takes practice. That's all. Just like anything, any kind of simulator, it just takes practice, and you just keep doing that, and pretty soon it'll be like, oh, and just there's the great thing is, and once you're comfortable with it, I'll get you into a community with Captain Arish. He rated my channel earlier this year, and yeah, I would, if you can afford one, I would you can get the Velocity 1. That's pretty affordable. You don't have to have like a super duper high-end setup like a lot of people have. They spend a lot of money creating like a home cockpit, right? But once you're comfortable, we'll get you in with the flight sim community that I know they're very, yeah, only a parking brake, exactly. Yeah, any help you need, yeah, it's, even if you're on the Xbox, or if you need help setting up your yoke and throttle, they can help you out with that. They have way more knowledge than I do about the sim and a lot of the other things. But yeah, absolutely fantastic community, always welcoming. It doesn't matter who you are, anything like that. If you're there to fly, they're happy to have you along, so definitely they'll be more than happy to help you out along the way as well. And if you want, Ryan, there should be a link in the, if not, I might have to put it in, but there's a Discord. I have a Discord. It's not a chatty Discord like we've been used to. It's just a way for me to communicate with the viewers, like if I'm getting ready to go live, or if for some reason I have to cancel the stream, then I can put that in the Discord. Oh, come on. But here's the link to the Discord. But if you could always message me. You can click on there and message me if you need to. If you have any questions or whatever, I'll try to answer them as quickly as I can. Or if not, I'll point you in the direction that might give you the answer. So yeah, more than happy to have you along for the flying. The more the merrier. Okay. Yeah, but there, like, I post on the Discord, what I do is I post like so like our flight plan for today, right? I posted all the information, our departure airport, arrival airport, our and then the navigation points along the way, and all that. So that way people can, if not, what I do is I'll show the map for a bit and show how the flight plan, and that way people can look at it and say, okay, yep, I got all those, and then they're ready to go. If not, what some people do, like Para did at first, I think he just would jump in and just follow me. So yeah, there's all, and I try to, there's a channel for like motorsports related stuff, anything that I find interesting. There's stuff for aviation related that I find interesting. I try to do a little bit of that. There was the whole route, basically, minus the additional stops along the way for the whole KLM route I just completed a few weeks ago from the 1930s. Went from Amsterdam to Indonesia. So stuff like that I'll try to post if we do like historic routes again like that. I'll try to post like a, some kind of information about it. Yeah. It's a lot of fun. You can certainly, it's one of those, I guess you could say, a hobby that you can really kind of lose yourself in it. And you can, once you get, you start learning more, like navigating wise, it's like a whole, there's like so many different ways of flying. And, yeah, it's just a lot of fun. You'll enjoy it. It's very, and if I'm crazy enough, I can do a team prep. Oh, that's fine, Parrot. Don't worry about it. If you fly whenever you want, you're able to fly. It's perfectly fine. I understand that people, and I honestly, I wasn't really planning on flying until Monday, but I was like, well, I've got the time now. I feel like I've got a little bit of a break from, because I mean, that whole trip that I did from Amsterdam to Indonesia, I mean, that was 32 legs of flying over 2 days a week, except for the last 3 legs. We just did those one right after the other, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But that was a lot of flying in a lot of cases. There's 2. I want to tell you from what I read, right? And I think there's a lot of truth to this. A lot of people are saying, from what I read, the X is the preferred one for flight sim. It does have a better processor and everything. So if you can do it, I would say get the Xbox Series X if you can afford it. There's a lot of S's out there, but the X would be, if you can get the X, I think that would be the preferred. Let me dial in 11630. That would be your preferred. Like, I was looking at it, like, why does it seem like it's a little bit boggy on the next one is, what did I say it was? Okay, yep, all right. Oh, I can't do it up close. There we go. All right. So yeah, I would say the X, if you can do it, if you can afford it. I don't know. Depends on where you get it from and the exchange rate at the time. You could probably try Amazon. Yeah, I have no idea. It depends. Yeah, I would get the X if you can, and then because that's going to have a terabyte of space. That's plenty for the flight sim, because it's a big game. It's going to take up a lot of space on your hard drive. So I would say if you're going to do it, I would say now's the time to get into it, only because in November there's going to be the 40th anniversary edition of stuff coming out. We're getting a bunch of free stuff. We're getting helicopters finally on the console, more gliders. We're getting the DC-3. There's going to be a whole bunch of stuff coming. We're getting the Spirit of St. Louis plane, the Wright Brothers plane, all kinds of stuff. So yeah, now I would say now is the time if you're going to get into it. There's a lot more coming down the road. So yeah, you'll have plenty of space. You won't run out of space if that's all that you're playing on Xbox. So you'll be good. So yeah, awesome. I mean, if I could swing a Series X, I totally would. I I wish. I mean, because when I got the S because I'm like, oh, Flight Sim is going to be on the console and it's going to be on. You can fly it on the S or the X, and the Series S was more readily available versus the X. The X was super expensive, but the prices are starting to come down. They're which, yeah, oddly enough, I saw a thing the other day that Sony is raising their prices globally on the PlayStation 5. Like, the prices are expected to go up around the world. So if you haven't got one by now, you're probably going to pay more than you previously thought you were going to pay. So, yeah, that's going to be a bit of a challenge there. All right, so we are on our way to our third VOR. There in the distance, 70, 79? Yep, all right. Just under 79 nautical miles to go to our third and final VOR. And then we're going to turn for our first fixed point to prepare for lineup. Oh yeah, you lucked out then, because yeah, I just saw the other day that they're planning on raising the prices around the world for the, which people are like, why would you do that? There's, people can't afford it already as it is, and now you're going to make it even harder for them to afford it. Yeah, it's a bit of a challenge. So the sooner you get one, the better. If you can do it, is my suggestion, my understanding. Yeah, if I could do an X, I would like to, because when I compared the two systems, and the S is pretty decent for what you get for the price, but overall the X is the preferred. Yeah, buying a PC was easier. And see, I'd like to do a PC strictly for gaming, but that is thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, just for the tower alone, with the processing and all that you would want to run Flight Simulator exclusively. And that's what a lot of people just have, their gaming PC, that's all they have is Flight Sim. So yeah, it's yeah, 999 euros. So that's about maybe 15 or 1600 US. Depends on the exchange rate. I mean, it's possible to do, but it's the problem is what I think a lot of people discovered that even at the time they bought it, their system was like high end, and now all of a sudden it's already obsolete. So yeah, it's yeah, a lot of people were lucky they got good deals on their PlayStation and all that, but I would like to get a PC, but it's because I would like to do the whole setup: the PC, the yoke and throttle, the pedals, all the other little additional stuff to make it a little bit more realistic. But yeah, it can turn into a very expensive endeavor. Like, I asked Captain Arish about how he got all his stuff, and he said he just bought it a little bit at a time. He just, he said, I started with the cheapest yoke and throttle I could get, and then he said over time I continued to upgrade and got newer stuff. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah. Um, because there's some places that will build you a PC strictly for Flight Sim, for Microsoft Flight Simulator. They'll give you like the best graphics card and all the memory, whatever, and that's. But some people, that's all they play on it. They won't play anything else. So they've got the space, so they never run, yeah, but getting all the peripherals like the yoke and throttle, the pedals, the little other instrumentation that you can get to make it seem even more realistic, right? That's the tricky part. Or some people use for like I think some people do like an iPad or some kind of display for all your gauges, right? So yeah, it's a lot of people, they can get very immersive in it. Like there's one guy who's building a replica Spitfire cockpit at home that he's gonna sim in. Yeah, a lot of people, they like on some of the forum on Discord that I follow, they show their little home cockpit that they've built up over the years. It's it takes time. How are we doing on fuel? Oh, we're good. Oops. Yeah. Well, or see, not even so much secondhand. They just get, like, they buy the whatever they feel will get them through in the beginning, just so that because some people, they spend thousands and thousands of dollars. Like, I gotta have all the best stuff, right? Like, people like, oh, I have to have like the latest Callaway golf clubs because I want to play golf and I want the best clubs. But then they go out and they play maybe one round, and then they don't play for another like 5 or 6 years. But they spend over close to $1,500 in golf clubs and a bag, the whole thing, right? You have a app for Flight Sim, don't you? That you can. Well, no, not really. I wouldn't say there's an app. I mean, you can. I don't know that there's. Well, the only app that you could theoretically use is the E6B app, which is like your flight calculator. But you could plug in numbers and it'll convert things for you. Like if you want to know from pounds to kilos or gallons to pounds or whatever, your airspeed calculations, stuff like that. You can do all that there's an E6B app. Instead of, because it used to be all pilots had an E6B, it says handheld. They're either made of plastic or metal or sometimes paper. But now, because most people have there's like calculator like things that are like an E6B. We still got 50 nautical. Okay. But no, as far as an app goes, you don't really need an app per se. But there's websites that you can go to that will help you. Oh, no, not this. There's no like app on your phone necessarily or your computer, but there are websites that you can go to. Like I use a website called skyvector.com. You don't sign up for an account because it's supposed to be for real world pilots. They don't want you to use it for simming purposes. But for without an account, you can have your departure airport, your arrival airport, and your navigation stuff. So like this flight today, in skyvector.com, what I did was I put my departure airport. It won't always give me the departure runway, but it'll allow me to pick the airport, right? and then I pick my arrival airport, and then in between I just plug in the names of my nav points, right? And then it builds a flight plan for me, and then I can see roughly, okay, when I take off I have to head this direction towards my first nav point. So so that's great for just like VOR to VOR flying, or VFR flying. You can kind of see, okay, from here to here, this is how far it's going to be. This is about the time that I should expect to be able to for the flight, kind of thing. But at least then you can also look and say, okay, I'm going to be flying over mountains. I'm probably going to have to be up at a 16,000 feet or whatever to get over everything, and then I'll be good. So that's the hold on, let me start. It's starting to get a little backed up here. No, it's you for SkyVector. You have to. They want you to be a real world pilot to use it. They tell you specifically, if you are using this for flight sim, do not do it. But if you don't have an account, you can still use the website, right? It'll still give you information. Now, one of the things is, so like when I did the flight from Amsterdam to Indonesia, right? If some of the airfields that were used in the 1930s are now military airfields, you may not be able to get any kind of information at all on SkyVector. You won't know you cannot put in the distance, for instance. You can try to find a rough estimate area, right, and put a marker there, but you won't be able to. You won't know. Okay, I turn. Which direction do I turn? And for that sort of thing. So I wouldn't. But otherwise, yes. They generally have most every airport in America, except if the airport's closed, then they won't have. It's weird because sometimes the airport's still open in the sim, or a runway will still be open, but when you look on SkyVector, it won't give you that option for that particular runway to take off or land from. So you have to kind of like, okay, I have to move over to this runway instead, So, yeah, but it won't cost anything to use SkyVector, just the website itself. You don't have to pay any kind of a fee or anything like that. So just learning navigating that way, just the, like the VOR to VOR stuff. That's the best way to do it, because it'll give you your points and it'll say heading of, and then it'll give you a heading, a degree heading, and then the distance from point to point, which does help out quite a bit. All right, 32. But yeah, I would start there, because at least that gives you. There's other websites, but I like SkyVector. It seems to be the one that I can count on the most. Some other stuff, if you want it, you're gonna have to pay for a subscription. Like if you use Navigraph, if you want the free one, it's gonna be outdated navigation information. Okay. Sounds good, Ryan. We'll catch you later. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully you have a good day. Let's see. I think I still have. 3-1. Okay, so we'll be at 3,000 feet by then. That's too easy. All right, sounds good, Ryan. We'll catch you later. Have a good day. Bumpy here. You know what? Hold on a second. I wonder. Let's make sure I'm still on the Southeast Asia server. Yep. Okay. Ooh. Oop. 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 Oops. A daisy. Almost made a boo boo there. All right, we're getting there, folks. Jeez. Any different? Is there a bunch of airports around here or something? I don't see anybody. There is one. It's like it says to our left. I don't see. It didn't look like a major airport. Is that it over there? Maybe that's it over there. No, maybe not. That's a freeway. Oh, there's one. There's an airport right there. That looks like an airport. Yep, okay. So yeah, looks like there's... That looks like a major airport there. Hello, Patrice, how are you? Nice to see you here. Welcome. We're almost to, well, not almost. We're slowly making our way to Moines, Iowa. And then we're going to hop over in the F-35. Have a little fun flight in the F-35. The departure and destination will be secret until we conclude this flight. I was just thinking about that. I had, I know I stopped, so I had an appointment yesterday. I stopped off at Walmart on the way home from my appointment, and that was like in the early afternoon. I did get some stuff. I don't even remember what I had for dinner last night, to be honest. I don't think it was anything exciting, but I don't even know what I had. I don't remember. It wasn't anything like, I don't think I cooked anything. I honestly don't remember. I know I had a spicy chicken wrap for lunch. I got that at Walmart on the way home. Yeah. Man. So that was kind of a late lunch. Maybe that was enough for me even for dinner last night. I don't know. All right, so we're going to turn. Let me look at my next 073. Okay. So we gotta turn this way. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. All right, 103 nautical miles. It says 7.9 should be our preferred. There we go. So let's see here. We need to tune in our ILS frequency there of 110.30. So we're going to go ahead and swap over to that because even though we won't pick it up until we get closer to the airport. Are we already picking it up? Really? Okay. Let's go to the right of the one. Let me get back to the chat here. Yeah, I think because I ate it. By the time I got home, it was like 1:30, almost 2. So I ate the wrap and some potato chips, and then I think that was enough. Then I'll watch Chris do the F1 manager game. Well, because I when I got home and when I looked at the time, I was like, oh, and I thought maybe Mick and Pulse had gone live, and lo and behold, nowhere to be seen. So yeah, I was like, well, and then I saw Chris was live, and so I watched him do the F1 manager. So we need to be on the final heading of. So we'll just dial that in now. 311. I think it should. Ooh, we gotta go all the way around there. Okay. Oops. Roughly right about there should be sufficient. can dial it a little bit better if we need to once we're... Oops. Okay. All right, let me get back here to the chat. Yeah, well, my appointment took much longer than I expected yesterday, which was fine because I got a lot of stuff done, but it was like, by the end, it kind of, not like physically wore me out, just like, I guess in a way emotionally, but yeah, it was a good appointment, you know, like, I feel like I got a lot done yesterday, but now, it turns out there's some things that I took for granted that I shouldn't have, because wait a minute, what am I supposed to do? Yeah, that I have to kind of fight to get some things corrected, which I thought I did. I thought everything was set, right? So I guess I'll just tell it like this. So when I got out of the Army in 2015, on my last day, based on all my years of service, right, I was supposed to get a letter saying you are going to get a retirement at the age of 60, right? I was basically, they put you like on the retired list so that the Army knows come this date, on your 60th birthday, on your 59th birthday, you'll get a letter, you'll get a packet of stuff in the mail that you have to fill out and send back fill it out and send it back right away, so that in theory you get your first retirement check at age 60. Well, they never gave me that letter when I got out. That's the gist of the story at this point, right? And which really kind of deflated me, because I'm like, well, I gave, and I kept telling them before I got out, I think I'm owed something, retirement wise. Nope, you're not owed anything. Well, I'm positive I am. Nope. So now I have to figure out how to correct that. And it may get to the point that I have to contact my congressperson, who they have, every congressperson's office has a military liaison. So when you bring these sorts of things to them, they immediately get in contact with your branch of service and say, you guys are hosing this service member, what's the deal? And then they can say, oh, yep, we screwed up, or they're not owed this and here's the reason why, kind of thing. So yeah, it was just, but basically I turned in a bunch of documentation to try to get my disability rating increased, but it'll take time for all that stuff to, like he sent it up to Buffalo yesterday. He already put it in the system yesterday for me, but a lot of the stuff is they'll look at it as in the order it was received. So there's other people ahead of me, obviously, that they will look at, I have to wait my turn in line, basically. Part of that is to do with exposure to toxic fumes and other toxins during my military service. So it's what they have a presumptive care act, right? Or basically a presumptive condition, not care, presumptive condition. President Biden signed this thing saying if you were exposed to any of these things on any deployment, right, and you're experiencing these issues, you're automatically, they'll say you're approved. There are no questions asked, right? Part of that was because one of his sons died, and he believes, and rightfully so, that his son, one of his sons, not Hunter, the other one, I can't remember his name, but he died from cancer, and a lot of that was due to exposure to toxic stuff when he was, I think he was in the Navy. So, so he signs it, but, and this is the but part, because there's always a but. There's no money for it until possibly January of next year. We have to wait for Congress to approve the budget for all these service members who have been exposed to all these things, for them to get paid for it. So the president signs the thing, but there's no money to start paying. Like, if once people start submitting claims, and then they would just, cycle it through. Okay, approved, and they would just get paid for their conditions. So submitting is one thing. Now we won't know anything until January next year. So we did all that stuff. Yeah. So, but then we talked about my retirement. I said, well, you looked into my stuff, and you said I was, how many years I had and everything, and said, so everything should be set. And he said, but did you get this letter? I'm like, no. What are you talking? And he told me, and I'm like, I had to kind of bite my tongue, because I was ready to swear like Addie's does. Yeah. Oh, hello, Skeptic. How are you? Nice to see you here. Yeah, so it was just, but then when you asked me about the retirement stuff, I was just like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. Like, how? I'm like, yeah, it figures. My last assignment, which was probably my worst assignment ever in all my years of service, I'm like, yeah, it would go to figure that they would find a way to do me wrong on my last day. That even though I kept insisting, like, no, I should be getting something. I can't, yeah. So now I have to figure out whether I have to contact a congressperson, or I don't know. Like it's like trying to piece the puzzle together to what's going to be the next step to get this resolved, so that I get my retirement when I'm supposed to. So, yeah. But it is what it is. No, in theory, yes, but they have to put you on a list so that they know that when you turn a certain age, you will start drawing your retirement. So I'm qualified for it, but without my name on that list, I wouldn't never receive a check. That's the, or not only would I not I wouldn't receive the packet on my 59th birthday, so I get the check on the 60th, on my 60th birthday. So I have the I'm qualified, but without my name on that list, I would never get that packet of stuff to fill out and send back, so I start drawing my retirement. So, yeah. So, yeah, I was just like, yeah. But I'm glad we talked about it, because if we didn't discuss it yesterday, I would have never, ever have known about that. Well, there is a bit of a process, but it's like, which process is going to get the results as expeditiously as possible? So it could be either, if the contacting the congressperson and getting in touch with that liaison, if that's the fastest way, then that's what I got to do. But if there's another way that would be even quicker, or if somebody knows somebody who's, all that kind of stuff, then that may be the quicker route. But yeah, I have to do some research on that. But I was just like, man, so for every step forward I made yesterday, now there's that one step back that I was not expecting to be an issue. So, yeah, it is. That's how I felt exactly, skeptic. I was just like, wow. Yeah. Because it seemed to me they were more concerned about getting me out the door, and just here's your paperwork, go. But wait a minute, I'm missing. There's something else. Nope, there's nothing else. Have a nice day. So, no matter how much I pleaded or anything, they were like, nope, you're done. Bye. It's like they couldn't shove me out the door fast enough. So, yeah. So, anyway. But hopefully, now I got to keep my fingers crossed that in January the money gets approved, so that I can start getting compensated for the exposure to the burn pits and the smoke from the oil fires in the Gulf War, stuff like that. So, because according to the person I saw up at the VA hospital, she said that it sounds like I've developed like an asthmatic symptoms, or like I've developed asthma as an adult, and so like I have to keep an inhaler with me now, in case I need it, if I so I said, well, I was never diagnosed with asthma as a kid. Like, I never had any symptoms that suggested I had asthma. But now all of a sudden, as an adult, she said that's not uncommon, especially for service members who were exposed to all these things that, you don't know when it's going to affect your lung system. Like back in the 60s, everybody who worked in shipyards was exposed to asbestos. And so now all of a sudden they have all these people who have mesothelioma. Well, a lot of, like my dad, for instance, he had to get a lawyer. And they had to finally say, well, he needs to be paid because he was exposed to asbestos when he was in the Coast Guard. That's why he has mesothelioma. So, yeah. Or like the Vietnam veterans who were exposed to Agent Orange in Vietnam. The government for many years said, no, that has nothing to do with anything. Well, it did. It had lots of things to do with lots of things, So, but how many people died from that exposure and never got, their families had to fight for that to say, And in some cases, they may have been denied. Even when the families came forward and said, what's going on here? So, yeah. But anyway. Yeah, that's the deal. All right, how much farther do we got to go? 30. We're under 40 nautical miles. All right, let's go ahead and start dropping some altitude here. I got to get off the throttle a little bit more, just so that when we start descending. All right, let's get down to at least 6,000 while we can. You never conclusively prove individual cases, but yeah. Yeah, Yeah, I would agree with that, skeptic. There's ample proof. If one person was developing symptoms and nobody else was, and it's like, okay, this one case, you could say, you could say maybe it's not service connected, or or anything like that. But when it's multiple people from different years exhibiting roughly the same sort of illnesses and everything, then you can't deny and say, oh no, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with this, or they're fine. No, that's not how that's supposed to work. But yeah, the VA system is still really it's broken, and everybody will say, oh, every president person running for, we're gonna fix the VA, and then the VA is just it's so full of red tape that you can't. It's hard to fix it. So that's the drawback, unfortunately. It's almost like, many veterans feel like the only way that they get any decent care is they have to go in and like pound their fists on the desk of the receptionist and get angry. And then people start taking you seriously. But they also, that's when the VA security guards come out and put you in a room until you calm down. And in some hospitals, it's like that. Like the one my dad goes to. He said all these veterans come in and they're pissed off because they're not getting the care they need. And as soon as you start getting angry, he said all these dudes come out of nowhere and they put you like in a padded room and lock the door until you calm down. Yeah. It's just it's insane. But anyway. All right, where are we? 27. All right, let's get down a little bit lower. But yeah, it's like some people they have to fight and say, but this is what's happening. No, like for like the Gulf War veterans when there was a Gulf War illness, and people, it's it's in your head. It doesn't exist. That's what they would say. No, there's no such thing as a Gulf War illness. No, it's just made up. Well, I would think if your body's exhibiting certain signs, it's not that you're making it up. It's clearly there's evidence. But they'll tell you that, oh no, that's no. And it's like they want you to sound like a loon for coming to them and saying you have all these problems. Because if they can make you sound like the crazy person, then they don't have to worry about it, right? All right, we're almost here, folks, and then we'll pop over in the F-35 here in just a moment. Make sure we don't have any. 6 o'clock is still clear. Oh yeah, that's the dealio. All right, let's take a look at our distance here. 18. We'll level off here. I should be able to call. Let's see, they should be on the list. There it is. No, we're going straight in. Oh, we're gonna have a crosswind. Okay. We're kind of finding left traffic. Oh, there we go. We're gonna go ahead and fly this route all the way to the end. If in the future I become epileptic because I'm watching Rob's channel, it would be hard to prove. I hope that's never the case. I hope I don't make anybody epileptic. That would be... Alright, let's get some flaps. Let's get the gear. So we don't forget anything on the way in. We can turn on our landing light as well. Be a well-lit plane. That's what we do here in the Uncle B Sim channel. Let's have a look at our fuel, because I think we still got plenty in the drop tanks. Oh yeah, we're good. We're good to go. I think I'm trying to decide if one set of flaps, because we're having a crosswind, so maybe just the one set might be sufficient for landing. So it's almost like we're going to have a bit of a tailwind, but it's really a crosswind. So yeah, I think the one set of flaps should be sufficient. I was thinking about that this morning, about what if happens if you're guilty. Yeah, I know, huh? I'm not the scapegoat, but I can't remember the name. I'm trying to think. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. That's exactly what the investigators would say. Oh, you didn't. I know, like on when you go into like on any video game, it has that warning. So then the video game maker can't be sued if you suddenly develop seizures because of the flickering lighting in the game. It does set some people off, apparently. And our final is, what was it? 311. Okay. So we're going to keep going. We're going to make sure we go past. All right, there it is. There's our point. Fixed point. Oops, other way. Going to the wrong ambush site. Watched that movie the other day, Heartbreak Ridge with Clint Eastwood. Love that movie. Major Powers is an elite fighting unit. You've never seen the movie, I highly recommend it. It's certainly not a movie that would probably be made today, but it's fun. It's a funny movie in a way. Let's just go for 320. All right. Well, we're kind of... Well, I think I turned a little bit early again. Sure did. All right. Let's just go ahead and fire the autopilot. Just get it lined up ourselves here. All right. Almost there, folks. Go ahead and turn that off until we're on the ground, and then get our taxi guide once we're on the ground. All right, I'm gonna focus on landing here, and I'll be back looking at the chat here in just a moment, folks. Could you imagine being in downtown Des Moines right here, seeing a P-38 fly over your house or your apartment or your office building? Ooh, a little bit offline there. There we are. On behalf of myself and the entire flight crew, would like to welcome you to Des Moines, Iowa. Local time, I believe, is 8:06 in the morning. I think they're an hour. Maybe it's 6:06. They might be 7:06. It might be 2 hours behind me. I don't know. We understand and appreciate the fact that you have lots of things to do on a Friday morning, afternoon, evening, but we're glad that you chose to spend some time with us. Stick around, we have one more flight to do. Shouldn't take very long to do. In the F-35. Thank you, Joseph. Oh, you turn the next taxi. I don't want to contact them. What if I don't want to? Thank you, Mella. That wasn't too bad. I like kind of implementing those ILS approaches on our flights. If only because then we know, you know, like if not that I want to do like an entire approach mode, but yeah, it just helps to kind of hand fly it in. I think. Let me refresh because it's starting to buffer a bit here. Yeah, once we park it, we'll hop over into the F-35, the Lightning II. So it's a Lightning Friday all around, old and new. I had to do a bit of research for this the second flight because it was not easy to find the particular departure or particular type of airport that I was looking for. I know where the destination is, but I don't remember. I don't know the like the departure. That was the. Oh, I was gonna say, are we parking over by a gate? I thought I asked for parking, not at the gate. Oh, maybe over there somewhere. So, yeah, it took a little bit of time to figure it out, but all right, Patrice, take care. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. Hopefully you have a good rest of your Friday. If you're going to work, try not to work too hard if you can help it. Okay, there's our parking spot, it looks like right there. Well, yeah, it was a pretty good flight. Oh, I gotta put my... I'll do it afterwards, because we have 2 flights to do. Oops, up. Turned a little too hard there. I don't think these cars would be parked that close to the airport. I could be wrong, but that just seems kind of wrong. Alright, let's go ahead and shut this down. Hour 26, not too shabby. Did a little bit better than I expected. All right. All right, folks, here we go. Now, here's what happened earlier this week, right? The Dutch sent 5 F-35s over to Lakenheath to partake in some training exercises with the U.S. Air Force. So, this is what happens. Everybody is lining up. All the F-15s, Air Force F-35s, all hit the loud pedal and skedaddle into the air. Not the Dutch. Not the Dutch. They didn't light the candle. Thank you, Bex. They did not light it at all. They just kind of like... It was very anticlimactic. Not going to lie. So, now apparently the Dutch are known for being very frugal. That's what I understand to be the case, right? So, we are not going to be frugal. We are going to take off. Let's get across the pond here. And I have to find... Let's see, it is... Okay, there it is, Volkel... Oh, wait. Yep, Volkel Air Force, or Air Base. Now, the funny thing is, if you look from the top here, right? All this is muddied, and it's very difficult to know, like, your parking spot. But we're going to park here at 7-2, and we're going to start the aircraft up and taxi out. Okay? We'll do live weather. Yeah. I just want to make sure that's set. And then we are going to go to... We're going to go to Lakenheath. E-G-U-L. And we're going to come in on runway... Oh, let's take a look here before I... E-G-U-L. The preferred runway for arrival is... Let's see. This is 2-4. Okay, not 3. 2-4. All right, that's probably our best bet for arrival. We're going to do an IFR low altitude. Now, this is the tricky part. I got to look at the departure preferred runway for Volkel. EHVK. So we choose EHVK. Local Air Base. 6 left or 6 right has crosswinds. So I'm thinking that's our... Why can I look at the... All right, we're going to go 6 right. All right, perfect. So we're going to head out, head over the North Sea, not the Channel, because I was corrected before. We're over the North Sea, not the Channel. The Channel is like right there. And we're going to come in on 2-4. All right, so now this is the tricky part here, right? Because I kind of tested this. It's, well, there's a bit of a, well, I found a little bit of a problem, I think, with the autopilot, but I'm thinking I know how to fix it, or how to work around it, but we're going to find out. So, now this is the funny thing, right? Now look at this. We're going to go to the nav log, right? Our cruising altitude is 4,000 feet, right? However, once we get in the air, we're going to go to like 14, then 22, and then all of a sudden we're going to go back down to 4. It's very strange. So, what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to put in 17,000 feet for our cruise. I think that should be sufficient, but we'll find out in a moment. So, all right, let's get in here. Now, the other thing, I mean, this plane is, I think, technologically, it's amazing, right? It's, why can't I just, man, always wants to hover over a, rust problems with the, oh, there are? I did not know that. But we are flying in the Dutch liveried, the Dutch Air Force F-35. I thought we had the liveries for it, and it turns out, yes, on the F-35 we do. On the A model, the F-35A, not the B or C model. But on the A model, yes. So we will, I was hoping we were going to have it on the B model. I was going to try to do the different type of takeoff. So anyway, all right, let's, so we got to pull that first, put that in place, pull that. All right, now we can get our system started up here. The only thing that I noticed about this that I don't particularly care for is that on the flight plan, you cannot see the flight plan. I'm going to put a little bit more fuel in the tank. Ooh, suddenly the weather changed, it seemed like. All right, there we go, 70% full. And we'll get our, ooh, that's a little too bright. There we go. Now we can see everything. All right, let's get the get it started up. All right, and then let's get our lights on. Let's see, let's let the, Oh, that's okay. I'm okay with flying in the live weather. It's fine. All right, let's go ahead and close the canopy. Ooh, it got quiet all of a sudden. All right. So let's go ahead and get our altimeter set. And we're going to get this open. All right, let's get an initial speed of... All right, now this is the difficult part here that I found. So if I hit route follow, right, that's for the, or the route hold. That's supposed to be for, yeah. Hold on a second, Joseph. I don't remember how much it is. It's not. I don't think it was badly priced. I don't think. Para. All right, there's your outside shot there. Matter of fact, I'll get a little bit closer here. Oh, matter of fact, oops, that's not the right one. Let's do this as well. Let's put the taxi lights on, or the landing lights / taxi. And now we'll do the up close and personal. A lot of people over here today. There it is. So there's the insignia for the Dutch Air Force, I believe, on the tail there. There's the roundel for the Dutch Air Force. A little bit pixelated when you get closer, but that can be smoothed out later. I'm sure they will. There's our pilot. I'm trying to get a good picture, but then it's like other people. I don't want any other... Ah! There we go. That should do. All right. Take care, Skeptic. Thanks for stopping by for a while. Hopefully you have a good rest of your day. Sure, I will see you in Allison's stream tomorrow with Captain Arish. All right, so let's go ahead and... Did we say taxi IFR already? There we go. Does not take much to get this plane moving, that's for sure. Yeah, just a few decals, which I think that's just how it is in real life, or as close to it as possible. There we go. Yeah, it does not take much to get this plane moving. It's a little speedster on the ground, that's for sure. Now they have a different one that has like the 70th... It's like 70 years since the creation of the Dutch Air Force. So it has a nice... It has a different livery on the tail. It's pretty amazing looking. I'll show it to you once we're done. So yeah, there's a few little things that are, I think, that are still wrong with it, but it's stuff we can kind of work around for the most part, so it's fine. So we are going to light the candle this time. We're not going to... Yeah. Yeah, it was... I think it was the same here. Yeah, there was a lot of issues with it that... it was probably way more expensive than it should have been. So yeah, we will not be frugal. We're in a Dutch plane, but we are not going to fly like Dutch pilots today. Oh, come on, really? You're going to make me edge forward just a little bit more before you... There we go. Let's go ahead and do that one more time. All right, folks, here we go. Everybody get comfortable in their seats. Here we go. That's frugal for you. Now, what I can do, if I go ahead and put on the speed hold, oops, I have to put the autopilot on first. Oh, I armed the auto throttle. See, this is what happened before. Like, I think it just... I don't know why. See, I can't... The bad part is I can't pull up the flight plan like I normally would be able to. So we're just gonna... We're gonna keep climbing, but I'm gonna try to swing the plane around. Now, this is the funny thing. Yeah, it is quick. Now, the other day when I was practicing with it, right, I was climbing and going to the left or the right, and the pilot blacked out. So you can make your pilot black out. All right, so there is our... So if we go like this, right, and we keep climbing, now if I engage the autopilot, it should follow the path. Right, it should get us back on track. Ooh, no, it did not. Wow, that was a violent turn. Yeah, see, it's just a bit strange. But we're going to see how it goes. It might just get closer and then we're going to ting a... yeah. So now it should turn to the right as we get closer to the nav line. Now it's turning again. Ooh, look at those clouds. All right, take care, Milla. I'll catch you later. Have a good one. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Catch you later. Probably in somebody's stream. Who knows who it'll be. Will it be Mick or Para or who knows? I'm sure we will... All right, now we're online. Why is it not going quicker? Why aren't we climbing? See, this is what I had a problem with the other day as well. Oh, I know what I got to do. Okay, let's do this. Now let's speed up too. I'm not sure. Why would I see? See, I put it in saying I only wanted to go to... I don't get it. There we go. Now we should be able to climb quicker. I mean, I will admit this. It is not the most, it's not the, you can give people tickets. There you go. It's not the most, like, awe-inspiring plane, in my opinion. Like, it doesn't give me, like, doesn't hit me in the feels like the F-14 does or the F-15 does. But it's a neat little plane regardless, because the B model, you have the vertical, like, this part here can move, and they can do like a bit of like almost like the Harrier, the way that the Marines flew in the Harrier with the. So there's that. See, it did it again. This is the part that I don't quite understand. So, yeah. Flying close to an Italian mob guy. Oh, is there like a... Is that kind of a hidden name under there or something? I don't know. All right, now we should be heading across the North Sea. Oh, I didn't see that. Oh, there. Okay. I did not see that before. Ooh, gotta change the altimeter. So yeah, we should be heading over the North Sea now. Let me refresh because I think we're lagging behind just a bit on the feed here. So yeah, it's a neat little plane. Hopefully they do sort out some of the issues. See? This is the part I don't understand. Now watch, it's going to tell me to go to 7,000 feet. Okay, now I need to put... There we go. Now we should expedite that descent. Oh, see, now that's a little bit easier to read, but now it's going to brighten up kind of too much. See, if I have it on, I think I have it on auto. Yeah, there we go. Make it easier to read. Oh, we got to return to the altimeter reading since we're below 8,000. or 18,000 feet. All right, so there is the coast. There's the North Sea, not the channel. All right, so, all right, so this is the interesting thing. We have so I think we got to turn one more time because we're almost near our next nav point. So yeah, we should turn a little bit more to the west here in a minute. Okay, take care, Bex. Thanks for stopping by. I guess I'll catch you later as well. So yeah, we should turn again here in a moment, I do believe. So far, it's going a little bit better than it did before. Okay, there it goes. A little bit to the... There we go. And that should take us... Well, no, it's okay. I thought that whole area between the UK and mainland Europe was the channel, but I stand corrected. It's fine. So no, I just want to make sure I make it clear that we're over the North Sea, not the channel. So, but yeah, it was, so basically what happened, I think, was it Wednesday morning? Yeah, early Wednesday morning, I woke up like ridiculously early. And so then I saw Big Jet TV was live at Lakenheath. So I tuned in on the YouTube channel, and it was it was kind of quiet at first. Then two F-15s came out, they skedaddled, and then it was like quiet. And Big Jet's like, that can't be it. There's got to be something more happening. And then suddenly, you could hear engines starting up. He said, "There's something else happening." And so next thing you know, there's all these F-15s start taxiing out. And then Air Force F-35s also taxi out. And then the Dutch F-35s taxied out. So yeah, it was a huge, like all of a sudden it got very busy for takeoffs. Like it was very active on the runway. And even the taxiways, like they stop and they do some of their checks, and they have to pull the pins and all that kind of stuff before they take off. So yeah, it got really busy. So, but yeah, it was amazing. Oh man, those F-15s, when they hit the afterburner, it's, man. But lately the water is too low, so yeah. All right, so yeah, we're heading directly west, so over the North Sea, and then we'll make the coast of the UK, and then we'll call in. This is the part that kind of threw me for a loop about where. So basically, we got a minute 33 to our next nav point. Now, I could probably speed up even more since we're out over the North Sea. Let's go to, why not? Let's go to 420. Let's not be frugal today, because we got the fuel. It doesn't cost us anything, really. See, we could probably go even all the way to Mach 1 if we wanted. I would think. Let's see. What do you say, folks? How about it? Let's do... about 530 knots. I'm not paying for it either. It's... There we go. Now let's see if we break the sound barrier. We should have broken it. Oh, come on. Don't tell me you're not going to let me break the sound barrier. We're over the water. Maybe I'm not high enough. Huh. Oh, well. Yeah. All right, so, okay, 10 minutes to our destination, basically. At our speed. We're just cruising right through the miles there. I believe. So we'll slow down here in a minute. Now let's see, just out of curiosity, can we even call them in and say we're coming in? No, we cannot. Oh, because we're on IFR. That's why. Duh. So yeah, the wing tanks are all used up. Now we're just slurping gas out of the other tanks. Yeah, I think where those clouds are, that should be the coast of the UK right there. Just beyond, under those clouds. So yeah, we made pretty good time over the North Sea, didn't we? A few sandwiches and coffee and iced tea. Oh, what's wrong, Perry? Were you not feeling well? Make sure you eat. You gotta take care of yourself. Because you know, Addies will eat your sandwiches and drink your coffee and iced tea. Oh, yeah, I know how that goes. All right, let's start slowing down. See, I don't even have to wait for them to tell me. Yeah, I know. It took me a while because I kept thinking of all the stuff that I went through the other day. It took me a while to get to sleep last night, and then, of course, what do? I wake up this morning thinking about the same thing. Not that I can do anything about it at 11 o'clock at night or 4 o'clock in the morning. You know. Yeah, we did pretty good over the North Sea there. So now we have 11 minutes to our destination. We were cooking along pretty good, but because I slowed down now, that's okay. That's fine. So right here it says we have 76 nautical miles left to our destination. Yeah, we did pretty good. I like that it's kind of a simple plane in a way to set up, to get it started, right? Because you hit that button or this little part right here, and that opens the fuel system. You just have to make sure you arm the ejector seat and pull the pin out of there. So pin. But the startup is very simple. But the only thing I don't like is you cannot pull up the flight plan to see where you are roughly. Like even if I go, like, check this out. If I go here, it doesn't give me the line that I normally would follow. Right? That's the only problem that's the only thing I don't like. Even if I zoom out, like, there's nothing that shows me that the way that I'm going is the correct way. So like if I got offline, off my navigation, yeah, I would pair. I mean, it's not a bad plane, and I'm sure they're going to make some more improvements as time goes on. But I think it's it's something different, for sure. All right, let's go ahead and slow down to 250. But I mean, it's amazing, this whole digital cockpit, because all the stuff you need is pretty much right there. The only thing is you're gonna have to keep this part open until you get to like your cruising altitudes and get your speed set and all that kind of stuff. So we still got to go a bit inland once we cross the coast there coming up. Oh, I did get a picture, but let's try to get one more while we're in the air. Oh, that's kind of a neat picture. Too bad there's other people that would have been in it. All right. Yeah. Oh, so speaking of aircraft, so of course we get the update yesterday. Nothing really significant. A few things, depending on what you own. There was some updates for some aircraft. They released another Fokker plane. So there's a city update, which they covered, like, I think 5 different cities in Germany that were part, or because of Gamescom or something like that. They had like a gaming convention, so the folks from Asobo, I think, were there. And then they released a Fokker F-13. It's a single engine Fokker plane, not Fokker, Junkers, I'm sorry. Junkers plane, F-13. I don't know why I thought Fokker. Maybe the F part got me. Um, it's a neat. It's a it's a neat plane, but it's not like the Junkers 52. So yeah, that's the only thing. It's there's no radios, like or anything that I could find. Like I got it. It wasn't very expensive. It's a neat plane. I do like the Junkers planes in general. The only thing is on this plane there's no flaps, so we're going back to flapless, taking off and landing. Which is, does take some getting used to. You have to kind of land it a much different way than you normally would. All right, I need to slow way down now. Let's go. Not even that. Well. So yeah, hopefully they'll update it again, but yeah, there was no nav radios. They have a classic version, which is all steam gauges, and then there's one that does have a little bit more modern flight deck, but there's still no nav radios to tune in if you're going to do VOR to VOR flying. Not that you can't do it, but yeah, it just doesn't seem. It's not very intuitive. Let's put it that way. But yeah, the city update. They did release more information about the 40th anniversary stuff coming up here in November. We're getting the Spruce Goose, the big flying boat that Howard Hughes built, and we're getting a different, an earlier version of the Grumman Goose. That we already have one, but this will be the earlier iteration of it in November. But they there's still more stuff to come. Between now and November, I'm sure they'll keep talking about the all the stuff that we're gonna get as part of the 40th, and that's for everybody. Whether you paid for no matter what edition you have, all that stuff will be coming. So you don't have to buy anything. All right, so we are 8 minutes out. Okay. All right, I'm going to have to get down to at least. Oops. No, oh, I gotta get speed. Forgot to hit the button. All right, let me just refresh this so I'm looking at the same thing. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff coming. All right, we'll put the landing gear down since we're slowing down enough to drop the landing gear. Flaps will be automatic, I think, at this point. Ooh, wow, we are losing altitude suddenly, quite a bit. That was unexpected. Huh. Okay. Let's go get our altimeter reading finalized again. All right, I'm going to probably have to land this manually because there's no ILS approach or anything like that. Yeah, we're just kind of. I'm gonna go ahead and. Ooh, oh boy, I'm gonna. Oh, shoot. Might have slowed down a little too early. That's all right. Well, we're gonna make it. All right, this is the part that's gonna be. Gonna tire my thumb out. Oh shoot! I have to keep that on, otherwise it won't. Ah, doggone it! All right, hold on a second, folks. All right, so we're flying the same heading. Oops. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've got the fuel. If we had to go around, we definitely got the fuel for it. Now, just kind of getting the plane settled here for a minute while I look at the. Well, I can just look at it on the. I like that. If I look down, right, it kind of brightens up, and as soon as I look up here, it automatically, I can see the, yeah, I think I slowed down way too early here. That's okay. All right, just under 6 minutes to our destination. I would have thought that we would have gotten. I think we're going to have to fly over and get a visual reference of our runway. Our runway should be to our right below. Should be like somewhere once we fly over. We should be able to see the numbers fairly quick or fairly clearly. See, now it wants to continue climbing. A minute ago, it was like wanting to go for the hard deck or below the hard deck or whatever you want to call it. Not one cooperate. Let's get another altimeter check. It is where? Okay, it says we're still just about a minute and a half out. Is this it here? Oh, it should be over this way. I thought we were going right over the runway. Oh boy. Alright, so we gotta turn. So 2-4 should be like somewhere around here, right? Where's that lock? Oh, wait a minute. There's our... That should be Lakenheath right there. There it is. Okay. Yep, that's the layout of Lakenheath. I know it like the back of Addie's hand. Addie's, you still here? Or did you bugger off? Alright, so there's our runway right there. So yeah, we're gonna go over and have a look-see. Pretty sure that is... Yep, it's our runway. Perfect. Okay. All right, let's do this. Boy, I think I slowed down way too much there. Alright, let's do this. Oh, now it gives me the... Ooh, crap. Wow. Why? It is really acting up all of a sudden. It's almost like the plane wants to fly itself. I feel like I'm fighting against the autopilot or something. Well, this is definitely not an easy plane to manually fly. Ooh. Ooh, that's not the landing I wanted. Oh my goodness. Well, that was not how I wanted that to go. Boy, we about stalled right on approach there. Whew. Okay. Man, that was not easy. That is a tough plane to fly on landing, that's for sure. Well, on behalf of myself and the entire flight crew, we'd like to welcome you to Lakenheath, UK. Local time is 3:10 in the afternoon, 15:10. We do understand and appreciate the fact that that was not a very good landing in the F-35, but we made it. We didn't crash. The plane is intact. It didn't cost the Dutch taxpayers any money, except maybe a little damage to the landing gear. But we're glad we did it anyway. Do join us on Monday, 7:10 Eastern, 11:10 UTC, 12:10 UK, in the Junkers 52. Yeah, that was terrible, Para. See, that's what I get for not being frugal, huh? That's what it was. I dared to be goofy and I paid for it. Okay, where's my parking thing? Where's my... No, I'm not getting... Maybe I need to turn off the... Let's see if I turn off the runway here. It'll tell me which way to go. Yeah, I know. I will not either. We're gonna charge it to Joseph. He's gonna take care of it for us. I think Addie's is secretly very wealthy. He just doesn't want to tell anybody. Anyway, so yeah, Junkers 52, JFK to Reagan, Ronald Reagan International / Washington National. It's got like a couple different names, I think. Yeah. Good stuff. Oh, I was going to show you the other, the one with the other livery for the Dutch Air Force. It's pretty cool. I should have flown that one because it does have a lot more interesting livery, I think, than this one. I think they need to really do some work on the Lakenheath Air Base. Because when I was watching Big Jet TV the other day, the way that they taxied down to the departure runway, didn't. Oh, so now check this out, right? If I open the canopy, watch that. Now the ladder will actually extend for you. Check that out. Let's zoom in here real quick. Yeah, that's why I can't taxi with the cockpit window open or the cockpit open, because then you'll be taxiing with this little ladder that comes down when you open the cockpit like that. So there we are. Oops. I wish that green thing wasn't there, but that's okay. Ooh. Let's go back here and I'll shut the plane down. So there we are. Yeah, it's not a bad plane. I think it's just one of those planes that you got to get used to flying a bit, and then it's not so bad. You know. All right, let's turn that off, that off, that off, and the battery. There we go. 42 minutes. That's not too bad. I still got credit for the landing. Woohoo! I like it. All right, let's go back here, and then I'll show you the other livery real quick, and then we'll call it a day. So I've been going for longer than I expected. I should have been done I was expecting myself to be done by 9:30, I think. All right, so let's go here. Change aircraft. Oh no, liveries, not aircraft, liveries. So hopefully it does not crash on me. Please don't crash, game. Okay, here we go. So yeah, well, let's see if it. I know what I can do. There we go. Now you can see it a little bit better. There it is. Look at that. That's pretty cool, I think. I think that's the 70 years of the Dutch Air Force. Because I think it was actually created that means the 1950s was the first year of the Dutch Air Force, sometime in the 1950s. I know it was sometime after World War II that the Dutch Air Force became a part of the Dutch military. So yeah, kind of a neat design here on the tail, I think. And oh, there it is. So those are all different planes that they've flown. So you got looks like the F-104, the F-16, and then the F-35 at the top. So they've only flown 5 different planes in 70 years. That was their main. I'm not sure which one I don't know what these two are. I'd have to look it up. But that's a 104. That's an F-16. And that's the F-35. So yeah, pretty cool. Some neat history there, I think. It's almost kind of like when the Air Force became its own branch of service after World War II, because it was the Army Air Force, and then they split off, and now it's the United States Air Force, and the United States Army, so, or the Army Air Corps. So, but we still have Army aviators. But so yeah. Oh, and then I'll show you the other one. I was hoping, quite honestly, this is the one that has the vertical takeoff system. This fan opens up over the back here, in over the back, and then the tail, the jet can maneuver down for like a vertical landing or vertical takeoff. Although they said they don't really do it that often. That's because there's like a weight requirement. You have to be below 40,000 pounds for the aircraft to be able to do that. So if they did, I would think they would just load up the ordnance and enough fuel for takeoff, and then they would meet up with a tanker. But so yeah, that's the other. But I thought I was hoping there would be a Dutch version of that, but no such luck. But anyway, all right, that will do it for today, folks. I got to pull up my logbook here so I don't. I can do my hours here. So yeah, we'll be back Monday, 7:10 Eastern, 11:10 UTC, 12:10 UK, Junkers 52. Starting our flight around America. We're going to do a tour of America in the Junkers 52. So do join us if you can. I'll greatly appreciate it. Thank you all to the subscribers, and I will see you all on Monday. Do enjoy the rest of your Friday morning, afternoon, evening, early Saturday, depending on where you are in the world. I have been and always shall be your host and pilot, Uncle B. Until Monday, peace, live long and prosper.